iOS 12 will be available on all the same devices as iOS 11. And I'm going to use an example of a popular phone from a few years ago. This is the iPhone 6 Plus. You'll see that apps launch up to 40% faster. The keyboard can come up to 50% faster, and you can slide to take a photo at up to 70% faster. And in iOS 12, we've wanted to make an easy way to experience AR across the system. And to do that, we got together with some of the greatest minds in 3D at Pixar. And together, we created a new file format for AR. It's called USDZ. And it's a compact single file format that's optimized for sharing while retaining great 3D graphics and even animations. A new app, and it's called Measure. It makes it really easy to measure objects, detect rectangles and get their dimensions, and measure lines along surfaces. And we're on a relentless pace of advancement with AR, and that continues today with AR Kit 2. Yes. This year, we're making photos even better, and it starts with search. iOS 12, search now starts working for you even before you start typing with search suggestions. It'll highlight things for you like key moments and people that are important to you, places where you've taken some great photos, and even categories of photos like hiking and water sports. And now in iOS 12, we have an all-new tab. It's called For You. And with For You, you have all of your memories, those great memory movies, but more, like featured photos, highlighting a photo that you took on this day in past years. And effect suggestions, for instance, suggesting looping a live photo or applying a new portrait effect to one of your portrait photos. And we even highlight your shared album activity, sharing suggestions. So imagine you've gone out for a great dinner with some friends and you took some photos. Well, afterwards and For You, you'll see a suggestion like this to share those photos. If you tap in, you'll see that Photos is even recommending a set of photos from that set that you might want to share, and suggests who you might want to share them with, based in part by the people that appeared in the photos. When your friend receives them, something really magical happens. Their phone searches their libraries for other photos they took at that event and suggests that they share them back to you. Any app can expose quick actions to Siri. There's so many uses for this kind of thing. You could say game time to get your team's schedule from TeamSnap, or help me relax to kick off a meditation, or order my groceries to order your usual. So for instance, let's say you order a coffee every morning at Phil's before you go to work. Well, now Siri can suggest right on your lock screen that you do that. You tap on it, and you can place the order right from there. Or if when you get to the gym, you use Aptiv to track workouts, well, that suggestion will appear right on your lock screen. And this even works when you pull down into search. You'll get great suggestions, like say you're running late for a meeting, well, Siri will suggest you text the meeting organizer. Or when you go to the movie, suggest that you turn on Do Not Disturb. That's just being considerate. And remind you to call Grandma on her birthday. Just tap and it'll dial the call for you. The Shortcuts app, you could do something like create a shortcut for surf time. And it could go get you the surf report, look up the current weather, get you the ETA to the beach, and even create a reminder for you to put on sunscreen when you get there. Now, it's all done with simple drag and drop steps in the Shortcuts editor.
Browse tab. You can discover new channels and topics, and we've made it even easier to jump to your favorites, because that's why they're your favorites, right? News shines on the iPad. We've added a new sidebar, and it's a great way to navigate. It makes it easy, and I think fun, to dig into the areas you're most interested in. We're bringing Apple News to Stocks. We're bringing Stocks to iPad. We're bringing voice memos to the iPad for the first time. We're introducing an all-new design. And we think the update is so great, we're calling it Apple Books, a new name. Apple Books has some great new features. For example, Reading Now. We have a preview that makes it really easy for you to pick up reading right where you left off. And there's so much more, including a stunning new store that makes browsing through your ebooks and audiobooks better than ever. But what you might not know is with iOS 12, CarPlay will also support third-party navigation apps.
We're announcing a comprehensive set of built-in features to help you limit distraction, focus, and understand how you're spending your time. And so we're introducing Do Not Disturb during bedtime, where all you'll see is this, nothing to get you spun up. And in the morning, we made it easier than ever to use Do Not Disturb because now we have a great new mode where when you press into Do Not Disturb in Control Center, you can set an ending time for Do Not Disturb for when you leave a particular location or when an event ends on your calendar. So I think we're all going to be using Do Not Disturb a bunch more. We're enabling what we call instant tuning for notifications right from the lock screen. You can press in to a notification, and from there you can decide to send future notifications from that app directly to Notification Center, bypassing your lock screen, or turn them off altogether. And Siri will even help by suggesting that you turn off notifications for apps that you're no longer using. Now, we also wanted to give you help managing large numbers of notifications. So I'm thrilled to announce that we're bringing to iOS support for grouped notifications. Screen time empowers you with both insight and control over how you spend your time. And it starts with reports. Every week, you get a weekly activity summary that details how you used your iPhone or iPad. You tap in and you get to view your full activity report. So if in your activity report, you see an app where you might want to be spending a little bit less time, well, you can set your own limit. And this year, we're taking Animoji to a whole new level, the breakthrough new technology we call tongue detection. With Memoji, you can create your very own personalized Animoji. These Animoji can look like you or the real you.
All new way for you to use Animoji. I can apply my favorite Animoji right here, live.
Today, we're introducing Group FaceTime. We have not only all of this, but we've also brought the fun effects to the FaceTime camera. I can just tap in and I have access to Animoji, filters, and all of my sticker packs. And everyone else on the call can apply them too. Wow, now this is the future.
Hey Craig, check this out. I'm a comic book koala, something I've always wanted to be.
In watchOS 5, you can challenge any of your activity sharing friends to a 7-day competition whenever you would like, starting with a new workout type for yoga. Now this works primarily from your heart rate. Now we've also added a new workout type for hiking. This takes into account pace and heart rate and elevation gain, so you can more accurately get exercise credit while you're hiking in steep terrain. And we're making this an even better experience now for training runs and races. In addition to current and average pace, you now have the option to keep track of your rolling mile pace, which is how fast you ran the immediately preceding mile. You can also now set a custom pace alert, so your Apple Watch will tap you when you're above or below the pace that you've set. And finally, runners will now get cadence, so you can see your current steps per minute. We're really excited for runners to try these out. Now, there's sometimes when you forget to start a workout on Watch, but you've started working out. And to solve this now, we're adding automatic workout detection. Now, when you reduce the intensity of your movement or your heart rate decreases, but you forget to end your workout, of course, Watch will also detect that and suggest that you stop. Introducing Walkie Talkie. This is a new app on Apple Watch. It's a fun, easy way to talk with friends and family. We're making some great enhancements to the Siri watch face now. First, we're adding new content. So now you can get live sports scores, you can get commute time home or to work, or you can see your heart rate, for example, after a workout or your resting heart rate. And we're also adding Siri shortcuts. Those shortcuts you saw coming to iOS 12 are also going to be available in watchOS. Also, for the first time, you can now use third-party apps on the Siri watch face to Siri on the watch. So you no longer need to say, "Hey Siri." You just raise your wrist and talk to Siri. Now we're also bringing a number of improvements to notifications, which are now more actionable and interactive. Content you'd like to see it right in the moment, and now you'll be able to do that in watchOS 5. And the content's can be formatted for the small screen, and where reader mode's available, it uses that on the watch. The Apple Podcast app is coming to Apple Watch. Upcoming episodes from subscribed podcasts will be automatically synced to your watch, so you can get them right there. Or you can just ask Siri to stream a podcast for you, and it'll start playing.
So Apple TV 4K is bringing you the latest in audio technology. Dolby Atmos. Now, one of the questions I get asked the most about aerials, especially by my family members, is where is this? Well, this fall, with just a tap of the Siri remote, you'll now be able to see every aerial location. And today, I have an incredible new location to share with you. For the past year, we've been collaborating closely with an amazing partner, filming some stunning footage from around the world with a very unique vantage point.
Our next release of macOS is macOS Mojave. Dark mode is not just about the dock or the menu bar. It extends to your Windows Chrome, your sidebar, and even the content of the windows. There's much more to Mojave that I'd like to share with you through demos, and it starts with the desktop. All of the contents of your desktop are automatically arranged into these stacks. They can be arranged by kind, by date, or even by tag. And they stay organized. So for instance, if I bring forward mail, maybe I drag an image out, I want you to watch what happens, because the image flies right into the right stack. Now, you can also scrub your stacks. Presentations, documents, spreadsheets, PDFs, and of course, with images, sometimes you want to know more detail about, for instance, how they were captured. And now the new sidebar in Mojave really helps because it now supports full metadata. So you can see around your photo the camera you took the photo on, the kind of lens, the aperture settings, and so forth. It's really handy. And you'll notice also along the bottom, there's this new area called Quick Actions. I don't have to open it and go or do a new app. I can rotate it right here inside the Finder. Tap spacebar to quick look it, and I want you to watch what happens in the lower right. I get a thumbnail instantly of that screenshot. And when I double click in, I get an accelerated workflow right into markup where I have access to all of my tools. So for instance, if I want to record the selected area, I'll just make a nice selection here. Okay, and I'm recording just like that. Of course, I can manipulate the app. This will all be reflected in my recording. And when I'm done, I can click the stop button right up here. Well, when I select this object, I can choose to take a photo, and it appears directly in my document. Isn't that cool? Now, this works as well for scanning documents. Top stories picked by our editors, trending stories, drill into this interactive chart to get more information. Voice memos syncs via iCloud to your Mac, monitor your video cameras, and of course with Siri, you can command your home with your voice, as well as protecting sensitive parts of your file system, like your mail database, your message history, and your backups. And all of this is protected by default for any app that you run on the system. Important protection. We've all seen these like buttons and share buttons, and these comment fields. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you, whether you click on them or not. And so this year, we are shutting that down. Now, if you do want to interact with one of these or one of these apps try to access that information, you'll get this, and you can decide to keep your information private. It's fonts that you have installed and the plugins that you might have on the device. And these data companies can use this set of characteristics to construct a unique fingerprint to track your device from site to site. With Mojave, we're making it much harder for trackers to create a unique fingerprint. We're presenting web pages with only a simplified system configuration. We show them only built-in fonts. And legacy plugins are no longer supported, so those can't contribute to a fingerprint. And as a result, your Mac will look more like everyone else's Mac, and it will be dramatically more difficult for data companies to uniquely identify your device and track you. Now, we're bringing all of these new protections to Safari on both Mojave and iOS 12.
So we've redesigned an all-new Mac App Store from the ground up.